Lights go down, but the stories ignite. Truth and tea in the dead of night. Drama deep as the midnights go, where secrets rise and the hot takes roll. Whispers echo through Hollywood halls. We're digging up dirt behind velvet walls. From shady scenes to viral mistakes, we break it down, no breaks, no fakes. Every headline hides a tale behind the glitz, behind the veil. So if you're ready for the real unknown, come down beneath the headstones where the wild truth finally gets shown. Entertainment, scandal, and all that's unsaid. We bring the stories back from the dead. Laugh, gasp, spill what no one owns. Right here beneath the headstones. We're here beneath the headstones. From influencer feuds to movie gold, the spotlight fades but the gossip's bold. Behind the glam, the scripts unwind. We dig up the legends they left behind. Every shade behind the fame, every player, every name. If you're brave enough to dig alone, come down beneath the headstones where the untold finally gets known. Drama, mystery, the fun never ends. We're spilling truth like we're all best friends. Viral vibes and internet tones all live beneath the headstones. It's not just graveyards and gloom, it's red carpets and shattered rooms. It's lights, camera, and a twist of doom. So come down beneath the headstones where their every tale chills to the bone. Drama and laughs, no filters applied. We're bringing receipts they try to hide. So hit that like and claim your throne with us beneath the headstone.
Hey everyone, hopefully you can hear me. Thanks for being here. Give me 1 second. I forgot to put on sub mode. How's everybody doing? Happy Saturday. I keep thinking it's Sunday because I had Friday off. So I'm all discombobulated. I was thinking about changing my channel name to Beneath the Mattress, but you know, when I thought about it, I was like, I think I'll keep it Beneath the Headstones. Just has a better ring to it. If you know, you know. So I did see, let's see, Queen Bella was here first. Thanks for being here. A One-Way Street. Evil Queen. So this is going to be kind of like a word game. Excuse me. So when I set up this live, actually, was it last week or the week before? It was the week before. I had actually changed it because I did the other live. And so I just had the word colloquialism in my head. And so I was going to talk about, the meanings of different words. But as I was, thinking about it today, I had an idea in my head and it sounded good in my head, but I couldn't get it on paper. So I did help Gemini, I did have Gemini help me in coming up with kind of a fun little game about different things that people say, different dialects, depending on your region. So, for example, I might say it's brick outside. Well, brick meaning very cold. So most of actually all of them I have not seen before personally. And so what we're going to do, I made like a slideshow video where I'll have the word, I'll have y'all guess what you think it means, and then the following slide is what it actually does mean. So kind of just having a discussion about words and how, depending on where we are in the country or in the world, we may say things differently. Like here we say soda, whereas my cousins in the Midwest say pop. Or we say shopping cart. My cousins say shopping buggy. So, just different ways of looking at words. So it's a game, but not really, where we're keeping score. It's just a way to kind of have fun and talk about things that aren't drama related. Lost Lily, thanks for being here. Marie the Maina. Angie, good to see you. Cheese, look at all these people in here. All of us got, well, not all of us, but several of us that I see in here got an FU overnight. Hey, Nanny Sharon, thanks for being here. Lost Lily. Hey, Marie, word salad. Yeah. Oh, shoot. I should have changed the title of the live. Whoops. I forgot all about it. I had word salad, but I guess it could be considered word salad. I don't know. I'm craving a good salad. What did you all have for dinner? I need ideas. And a chef. A chef would be nice. I had macaroni salad with albacore. Boring. Very boring. But we have a farm stand close to where I'm at, and they make all of their stuff from scratch. So I'm like, I'm going to try it. And it was good. There was a little too much onion and peppers in it, but I put the albacore with it and it was fine. Let's see, who else? Scrolling through. Oh, so Chi says people from my city say, "What's up?" That's clever. That's clever. Nanny went shopping. Is that what she said? Did I miss it? Nanny says, the store I go to has a salad bar, a little lettuce, and all the other toppings. I loved that. When I was in grad school, there was a grocery store that had the salad bar, and it was, you just made your own salad, they weighed it, and you were on your way. Cheese, you'll do good with this. Some of these are interesting, to say the least. They're interesting. Nanny says, I spent $115 for very few groceries. It's expensive. And gas especially. And my sister actually told me about the Upside app. I had always heard of it, but never really looked into it. And you can only use it at certain places. Well, this past week, I used the Upside app at a gas station, and I saved 46 cents per gallon. And I was near on empty, so I saved almost $5 just by using this app. The only thing about it is you have to use a credit card. You can't use cash, which you have to find a gas station that will take card or credit. Some stations around here don't take credit. So if you haven't looked into Upside, look into it. And if you need a referral code, I got you covered. I got you covered. All right, let me just scoot through. All right, so Marie says salad bars freak me out a little because it's open and weirdo people. That is very true too. That is very true too. You don't know where people's hands have been. And I know, especially here, we had a restaurant that we would go to all the time. And after C-19, they didn't have it because you can't have things in the open because of C-19. And they never brought it back, which was a bummer because it was like that and Ruby Tuesdays. Ruby Tuesdays has the best salad bar. Even though I don't really like their food per se, their salad bar is pretty kick-ass. All right, so we are going to get started. Hopefully this goes the way I envisioned it. If not, we'll just go with it. So let me add this to the live. All right, so it does have music. I thought it was I lowered it just so that it's not overbearing, but I will pause it obviously as we go through because I don't want to show you the answer before y'all get to guess. Lobster rolls are back at my grocery store and only $10. I wish I bought one today. I'm not really a big fan of like lobster or crab meat, but all right. So translate this obscure slang trivia. Gemini gave me that title, so I used it. All right, so let me get on the right screen here. Okay, so the first word or phrase, I should say. Should have looked at the transition time because this is taking quite a while here. What is, hold on, I don't think this worked. Hold on a second. Hold, please. Why is it only showing one slide? Oh, no. Okay, so it just takes forever. All right, let me get to the, wow, it was like, I must have screwed something up. It was 1 minute and 40 seconds was the first slide. Well, we live and learn. Okay. Okay, so the first category, I guess, would be obscure and bizarre regional US slang. And I had the paper with what states these were from, and it's way across the room. So we'll just have to go with it. Okay, so the first is finer than frog's hair. Okay, so if you were to say someone or something is finer than frog's hair, what would you be telling someone? Finer than frog's hair. And like I said, I had not seen any of these before. They were all new to me. And I think I'm going to start using some of them because they are pretty cool. All right, so Chi says not thick. Nanny said Southern slang. See if there's any. Very silky. Okay. And hey, adjust your focus. Not sure if I said hi. Thanks for being here. All right, so Nanny says extremely fine. Evil Queen says soft, question mark. She says frogs don't have hair. So that might lead you to what it actually means. So if you think about the fact that frogs don't have hair, it might give you an idea of what it means. All right, so we had a few guesses. Let's see what it is. Okay, so finer than frog's hair means doing absolutely fantastic, excellent, or in peak condition. So if you're doing finer than frog's hair, you're doing fantastic. And they had a disclaimer underneath that I didn't put on here that said frogs don't have hair. So just, yeah, it didn't make any, a lot of these don't make sense, but the ones that do make sense, I did put a little blurb like underneath the definition to kind of give context. Okay, next one. A ginner. A ginner. What do we think? And I don't know if it's a gin or a ginner. A ginner? A ginner? I think it's a ginner. I probably spelled it. I probably said it wrong. A ginner. And let's see. One second. I just have to do something quick. Okay, so let's see what y'all are saying. So Evil Queen says winning hand. Nanny says a beginner. Hey, KCG, how are you? She says a migrant worker of Mexican descent. Angie says starting something at the beginning. Okay. Oh yeah, so like beginner. All right. Let's see. I'll just give another second to see if anyone else has any ideas. Hey, Lunatic, thanks for being here. So a ginner or, yeah, I think it's a ginner. Aginner. Hey, we're just doing a word game where I have different colloquial words or phrases, and y'all are going to try to guess what it means. No, I forgot to do this disclaimer. Pookie, thank you for reminding me. Try not to look these up on Google because that makes it less fun. Like the fun in this is trying to guess correct and get the most correct. We're not keeping score, but cheating, no bueno. Try not to cheat because it's more fun. Nanny says a ginner, a drinker, LOL. Okay. Adjust your focus says I cheated because I gave up. Okay. Just don't say what it is in chat. Okay, so let's see what a ginner is. Okay, well, and a ginner is a person who is chronically contrary, someone who is always a gin against whatever idea is proposed just for the sake of arguing. So you could say they're also a contrarian, perhaps? Yeah, Pookie was going to use Google. So a ginner is someone who is always contrary. So if I said, wow, it's raining, you would say, no, it's not raining. Because it is raining here. All right, so there we go. Okay. Okay, so KCG said, I'm an English teacher, so I will just listen because I'll have an unfair advantage. Well, you may not know some of these, which would be interesting too. Like if you know them, I understand, but some of them you may not. So the next word is mulligrubs. Mulligrubs. And remember, these are all from the United States. They're US words. So mulligrubs. KCG says cookie. Oh, Pookie. Nanny says, I used to drink gin and tonic with twist of lemon. I couldn't do gin and tonic. All right, Nanny says feeling ill. That's a good guess. Lunatic says that's when the bugs get your golf ball and you have to try again. Angie says constant complaining. She says that's the technical name of the floaties when you close your eyes. Oh, that's a mulligan. Okay, so. All right, so I think everybody's guessed. I'll give it like a couple more seconds because I know there's a delay. Mulligrubs. So Nanny says, depression or ill. Okay. So mulligrubs is being in a blue mood, down in the dumps, or a little sulky and out of sorts. So Nanny was close when she said depression. So, you know, just being in a sad mood. Marie says Mulligan's is an eat-in bar here, so food and beer. Oh, really? Mulligan's. Well, this is mulligrubs. They're grubs. Yeah. But Mulligan's, we used to have, I'm sure there are other places, but when I lived in Philly, there was a place called Houlihan's, Oh my God, their food was so good. Okay, so there we have it. Mulligrubs. All right, next one. Honeyfuggle. Honeyfuggle. Oh, gotcha, Marie. Grub like food. Annie says, I've heard a case of the mulligrubs. All right, so honeyfuggle. I like this word. I think, well, this one, there's two of them. This one, and there's another one later on that I like a lot. KCG HONEYFUGGLE. Honeyfuggle. All right, Nanny says, cuddling with your honey. Evil Queen says, hugs. She says, that's the sticky substance that leaks out of bees' ears, of queen bee's ears. Angie says, talking nonsense. Okay, so KCJ says, I have no clue. All right, we have stumped KCG. Marie says, sweet talker. All right, I'll give it a couple more seconds. All right, so let's see what honeyfuggle is. So honeyfuggle is to dupe, swindle, or sweet talk someone into doing something they shouldn't do. So Marie was close. She did say sweet talker. So to dupe, swindle, or sweet talk someone into doing something they shouldn't do. Honeyfuggle. And actually, let me see. I have this on my phone. Let me see what. So honeyfuggle is Old Frontier, Southern U.S. I'll just go back to the other ones. Finer than frog's hair is Appalachia or the South. A ginner is Midwest. Mulligrubs is Southern U.S. And then honeyfuggle, which we just talked about, Old Frontier or Southern U.S. Because I do have my list on my phone. I forgot I did, so I can talk about. Okay, this one is Nebby. And this is, I don't know if Sinner's listening, but Sinner knows this because it's Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh area. Nebby. Nebby. She said that one at least makes sense. The honeyfuggle. Yes, KCG. So Nebby. Nebby. KCG says epiglottis is the word of the day on my calendar. That's quite the word. Ah, there's Sinner. Sinner's listening. Headed home. So Angie says it sounds like a cartoon character. Evil Queen says a shot. So an adult beverage. Shot. KCG says cute name for your partner? Question mark. All right, so I'll give it a few more. She says young person. So KCG says cute name for your partner or a sandwich. Ooh, that would be a good name for a sandwich. I will say Nebby. All right, any other guesses? All right, so let's see what Nebby is. So being overly nosy, gossipy, or sticking your nose directly into someone else's business. So when I think about, certain parts of these YouTube streets, it seems like a lot of people are nebby. A lot of people are nebby. Hey, Froggy, how are you? Hey, Cash, how are ya? You actually had it nosy, and I didn't see your answer till after. Hey, TLC is me. How are you? Yeah, Cash did get it. Yep. So overly nosy, gossipy, or sticking your nose where it doesn't belong. All right, next one. I think there might be one more for the US. Yes. Okay. So I think this might be the last US word, and then we get to the UK and Australia. Oh, no, there's two more. This one, and there's another one for the US, and then we get into British and Australia. So the devil is beating his wife. This is the deep south. This comes from the deep south. Nanny says thunder, question mark. Cash Cash says shagging. Oh boy. The devil is beating his wife. And there's nothing nefarious or, inappropriate in any of these. This, I will say, I did not expect this to be what it actually is. KCG says rain. All right, so I'll give it a few more seconds. Hey, Gina Marie, this is, excuse me, I had an idea to, talk about the meanings of words, but things have kind of changed since I had initially planned this. So we are just looking at different colloquial words or phrases. Currently, we're looking at the US and what they mean. So we're just guessing based on what the phrase or word is, what does it mean? What does it mean? Cash said scrambled eggs. She says cheating in cards. Okay. KCG also said cooking. Oh. Gina says hotter than hell out. I don't know. All right. So here we go. It's raining while the sun is simultaneously shining out. In other words, a sun shower. So where, I would say, oh, look, it's a sun shower. People in the deep south would say the devil is beating his wife. It'd be interesting, I didn't have time today, but just to see where did it come from? Who started saying that a sun shower was the devil beating his wife? I mean, was it because the sun's out and it's raining? So I don't know. Just very bizarre. Yeah, Froggy. I hadn't heard any of the ones that are on here. Cash said, well, that is silly. As rain is heavenly, so is God from above. I don't know. Yeah, me either. Me either. Okay, so the last US word is I should have looked up how to pronounce these. Laruping. Laruping. So it's LARRUPING. Laruping. Right, Marie. It's like when it's spring. Right, and there's always going to be a rainbow somewhere when there's a sun shower. So Nanny says no clue. That is true. They don't have to make sense. The devil has a wife. TLC said Larry. Larry is burping. There we go. Larry is burping. And let me say where this is from. This is from Texas, Oklahoma. Texas, Oklahoma region, LaRooping. Cash had slight larceny, old lassoing, no idea. Evil Queen says climbing fences. All right, so a couple more. All right. Oh boy. All right, so let's see what LaRooping is. LaRooping is unbelievably delicious. So the example that they had was that pie is LaRooping good. LaRooping. Unbelievably delicious. Go figure. Go figure. Marie said, I told my ex-husband's divorce lawyer she was Satan in heels. Wow, I could see that happening. Cash said, that's not an appropriate word for that. Yeah, I don't know. Okay. So now we are going to move into words and or phrases from Britain and Australia. So Britain and Australia. And I do have so British and Australian quirks is what Gemini called them. Quirks. All right, so tight as a boiled owl. Tight as a boiled owl. And this is older UK slang. So older UK slang. So Kesha's not giving money. Or not paying. She says my ex's nickname from high school. Oh my gosh. Yeah, TLC, not a good visual for me. Angie says stingy. So we have a few things about money, not paying. Hey, Grain, how are you? We are playing guess what the colloquial phrase or word means. And currently, these are going to be from the UK or Australia. How tight are owls pre-boiling? That I do not know. All right, so we are going to see what this means. Utterly and completely intoxicated. So if you are as tight as a boiled owl, you are utterly and completely intoxicated. Who would have known? Yeah, Catch, they say it's like older. I don't know how old. It could, it could be from the 17th century, 18th century. I didn't go that deep into some of these words, but it would be interesting to Okay, so next one, all mouth and no trousers. Keep it clean, people. Keep it clean. All mouth and no trousers. Okay, Cash, I know variations, but tight is money. How do these weird slangs come about? You know, that might be a good live to do, like my next live, just to kind of see like some of, you know, like where did these, some of them do have, I was able to find some things like when I was looking up the word, but a lot of them I didn't really look into it much. Cash says, you speaking bullocks and you bark, do not bite. Evil Queen said, you know what I'm thinking, so I'm keeping my mouth shut. Okay. Nanny says, talks a lot, but nothing to back it up. No receipts. Okay, Green says, I know this one. Dad used to say it. There is an American equivalent to this. There is an American equivalent. Angie says, all talk and no action. KCG says, safe as houses. Froggy says, all bark, no bite. Okay, so all talk. Lunatic, don't let your mouth write checks your butt can't catch. Catch? Do not walk the walk. All right, so we have a theme, kind of like all talk, no action. Talks a lot, nothing to back it up. All right, so let's see what this one is. A braggart, someone who talks a massive game but has zero action or substance to back it up. The US equivalent is all hat and no cattle. Yep, so y'all were close. So all talk, no action, or no receipts, nothing to back it up. A braggart. I like that word, braggart. All right. So the next one, spit into the brown. And this one is Victorian, UK. Victorian, UK, this is. So spit into the brown. Oh, crap. I just closed the live stream. KCG says, my extensive Monty Python lexicon is woefully unhelpful. So spit into the brown. This one actually, like when you see what it means, it actually does make sense. Nanny says, spill the truth, spill the beans. Cash says, pee in the poo bucket. It has nothing to do with bodily functions. KCG, bite the hand that feeds you. Interesting. All right, so a couple more seconds. Yes, Grain, exit only. All right. So here is what this phrase means. To fail completely at a task or miss a goal. It comes from old rifle target shooting, where missing the target entirely meant your shot landed in the brown mud below. So again, to fail completely at a task or miss a goal, and it comes from old rifle target shooting, where missing the target entirely meant your shot landed in the brown mud below. And like the Victorian era was, is that 18th century? 18th century? All right, so next one. Hey, Cash. Bags of mystery. And no, this has nothing to do with bags of D's. Bags of mystery. Bags of mystery. Oh, so almost the 19th century. Okay. All right, so bags of mystery. All right, so TLC says magic show. Oh, that's a good KCG. Okay, so KCG said boobies. Manny, lots of unexplained. Cash says, I might be making that up, to be honest. Hey, Lost Lily, how are you? Old ladies walking down the street. Old bags of mystery. Okay. Grain says white elephant gift. That is very true. And let me see. I don't think I told you where this... So this one is 19th century British. 19th century British. Bags of mystery. Evil Queen says Sherlock Holmes title. Froggy says sausage. Surprise gift, Angie says. She says airplane fights. Cash says hemlock poisoning. Grain, grab bag. All right, so let's see what bags of mystery are. It is a slang term for sausages. Because back then, 19th century Britain, nobody really knew what the butcher put inside the casing. So they were bags of mystery. Is that the real Ellie? Let me just double check. Ellie, is that you? Are you lost? I've missed saying that. Whoops, hold on a second. All right, we shouldn't be blocking people. Like, we're just playing a game here. We're just playing a game. Lost Lily said, school lunch, sausages and wieners. Oh, that was old, though. All right, so the next one, carry owls to Athens. Is there an updated version of this game? What do you mean updated version? Oh, like newer words? So initially, Gemini had given me like newer slang, but I had asked for more obscure words, like things that we don't hear as much now. I thought they called sausages bangers. Froggy said, oh, I think she was talking to somebody else. All right, so carry owls to Athens. And this is Old European. So this is Old European. So Nanny says, elders bring wisdom. Oh, that's actually a good one. TLC says, flying to the Olympics. Sinner says, funeral. Sell them the, what? Cash. All right, so I'll give a few more seconds. Hey, Summer, what's going on? Waste of time. All right, so let's see. Carry owls to Athens means taking part in a completely pointless, redundant task. And they also had with this definition, Athens already had a massive native owl population, so bringing more was useless. So taking part in a completely pointless, redundant task. She said it'll be something like don't go fishing on Thursdays. TLC says like me going to work every day. Yeah, Legally Blonde, you were a waste of time. Yeah. Like bringing ice. Cash says this live feels like I'm carrying tight arse. That happens. Hey, it's your choice to be here, sir. All right, so we are moving to historical throwbacks. Hilarious, and this was Gemini. This wasn't my wording. Hilarious historical throwbacks. Hey, Pooks. Oh, ice to the tundra. Very true. Okay, so again, historical throwbacks. Got the Morbs. Got the Morbs. And this is from the Victorian era. So, Victorian era. Got the Morbs. Oh, that's a good one. KCG said syphilis. Eagle Bond says no idea what that means. KCG said so syphilis or opium. Pookie says these are hurting what brain cells I have left. TLC says feeling down. All right, got the blue, sad day. Nanny says measles. Cash said that would be an STI surely. I mean, it feels like just the way that they have the phrase, like got the morbs, I feel like. Grain says heebie-jeebies. KCG says mean. Depression was not a thing, was it? That I'm not sure about. Lost Lily said sadness. Oops. All right, so let's see what got. Feeling temporary dramatic sadness or melancholy. So Cash was actually close with depression. Angie got the blues was close. TLC feeling down. Yep, so feeling temporarily dramatic sadness or melancholy. Got the morbs. Yeah, pretty cool. Oh yeah, Lily had said sadness. Did you say something before that, Lily, that I missed? Oh no, that was it. Okay. Somehow I missed that when you said sadness. Okay. Next one, a fit of the vapors. A fit of the vapors. And this was, just to give you context, archaic English. So archaic English, a fit of the vapors. And we have 6 more words, including this one. Hey, JS, what's going on? Long time no see. Long time no see. Grain says gas. KCG says fever. Sinner said drunk. That's actually a fit of the vapors. Leslie says tears. Cash, I said before, there's no inappropriate definitions. No inappropriate definitions. Hey, Doodles, how are ya? Feeling faint? Nanny says smoke coming out of your ears, so mad. Hey, Teaching, how are ya? Coughing, okay. TLC says feeling dizzy or overwhelmed. JS about to faint. Wasili says women in hysteria. Angie, hallucinations like from taking drugs or alcohol. All right, gonna pass out. Nanny says hiccups. All right. All right, so let's see what it is. So, a fit of the vapors is becoming completely overwhelmed, hysterical, or dramatically flustered by dramatic news. So, a fit of the vapors, which I think it was Lost Lily. Yep, was the closest. So, not necessarily women, but definitely like, so like upset, but they would say a fit of the vapors. Oh yeah, overwhelmed. TLC did say that, overwhelmed. Fainting. Speaking of baked beans, Grain, just to give a little clue, there will be something about baked beans later on with one of the words, so keep that in mind. Okay, so next phrase, Nanty narking. Nanty narking. And this is Victorian era. So Victorian era, Nanty narking. Nanty narking. JS says rattling. Oh, tattling. Okay. Oh, yeah. Nanty narking. That would make sense. Tattling. She says people that don't take steroids. Sinner says walking down the street and clicking your heels. Pookie said nanny snitching. Los Elise, snitches get stitches. Telling on someone, TLC says. What's a nanty? That I do not know. Summer says no idea. So we'll give a couple more seconds. So Nanty narking. Teaching says having fun. Great. Having an absolute blast, having great, noisy, celebratory fun with friends. So Nanty narking is having an absolute blast. Stepping in horse poo, well, that wouldn't be an absolute blast. That definitely would not be an absolute blast. That would be very, very upsetting. Yep. So there we go. Maybe you can try out some of these words on your friends later. All right, next one. Acknowledge the corn. Acknowledge the corn. This is 19th century frontier United States. So 19th century frontier US. Acknowledge the corn. Acknowledge the corn. Cash says, appreciate your life. Nanny Sharon, acknowledge growth. Legally Blonde said, not sinner's corn. Not that kind of corn. If I'm catching your drift. Doodle says, I can speak. Property boundary. Actually, that's actually a good way to think about it because, like if they had fields and things. Sinner, be thankful for what you have. Hey, Limey, what's going on? Listening and in the bushes, just got home from a 17-hour shift. Oh my gosh. That's a long shift. See ya, JS. Thanks for stopping in. Okay, so let's acknowledge the corn. To admit a mistake, confess to a small deception, or cop to being completely wrong about something. So to acknowledge the corn is to admit a mistake, confess to a small deception, or cop to being completely wrong about something. Oh, give me 1 second, y'all. I think a cat's stuck in the attic. Un momento. Okay, well, I didn't see a cat run out of the door, so hopefully I left the door open, so hopefully if they are up there, yes. So I have a walk-up attic, and the door is usually always shut because it's unfinished, but the cats, I think they're little rodents get up there, and so my cats start going bonkers, and they're just crying for me to open the attic door. And then my one cat, Batty, is the one that's incessant. She will just sit at the door meowing and scratching the door. So usually I just let her go up and shut the door. But speaking of Batty, here she comes. But yeah, I thought I heard a cat meowing, and then I opened the door and nobody ran out. So they may not be in the attic. Yep. I think a I think a cat is stuck in the attic. It's not a phrase I've ever used. Well, I've used it a lot because some of them have gotten stuck in the attic overnight because they don't come down when I tell them to. And, I don't do roll call here. You either come down when I tell you to come down or you're going to get stuck up there overnight. Like, I can't do that. B. Tim will be using these tomorrow. Speaking of Batty and crazy cat ladies, me. Well, Batty is my cat. That is not me. Although I have been referred to as a psycho. So there's what was the phrase? It wasn't stalker vibes. It was something else. Now I don't remember. Guess it wasn't important. Okay. All right. So next word. Sorry about that. Cackling farts. Cackling farts. Yeah, I think we all got a little psycho in us. So cackling farts. Hey, Shady. Sorry my comment got deleted. It got deleted? I didn't see anything get deleted. And I've been accepting everything that YouTube is holding. Thanks for stopping in. So Cash said witchy hags, women. Doodle says old ladies. Nanny says laughing while farting. Okay. Summer says loud farts. Lost Lily said chicken farts. Oh, that's actually a good one. Chicken farts. Limey. Catwoman. She's a hot fish. Bat squirrel. LOL. Angie says old ladies gossiping. Oh, there it is. You didn't send it, Shady. Yes. F me. Listen, Shady, all of the people who have been told to F off, I think almost everybody, like half the people that were told to F off are in my chat right now. Yeah. It's like Oprah when she, gives out cars, like an FU for you and an FU for you. And you and you and you. The whole audience gets an FU. Yeah. All right, so cackling farts. Cackling farts. And Shady, I don't know if you heard, you just came in, but I said I was thinking about changing my channel name to Beneath the Mattress. But then I thought, I think Beneath the Headstones is better. But maybe I'll create an alt, and my alt name will be Beneath the Mattress. Okay, so we got sidetracked here. So cackling farts. Cackling farts. Oh, Pookie, I know you didn't get an FU. Listen, it may be coming. It seems like more and more people are getting FUs throughout the day. So you may make the list sooner or later. All right, let's get to cackling farts. Hey, cackling. So cackling farts are chicken eggs. Chicken eggs. So grain, I don't know if you have laying hens, but when you go to get your eggs, you could say, I'm going to collect my cackling farts. I'm going to collect my cackling farts. Doodle says, I feel that way leaving work. F you and you and you. cackleberries. All right, so chicken eggs is cackle fart. All right, so I think there's 3 more left. Let me just look at my list. Yes, so there's 3 more words left. And these are old school diner lingo. So old school diner lingo. So Adam's ale. Adam's ale. Adam's ale. Nanny says apple juice. Cash says urinating. Okay. Leslie says SOS. She says rib sauce. Evil Queen says, I was listening fully expecting to be effed. Well, spermatozoa. Summer says tap water. Oh, Leslie said, I'm waiting for a plate of SOS. Nanny says water, no ice. Oh, okay. Grain says, I know this one because I used to work at a company named that. Okay. That's cool. That's cool. All right. So Adam's ale is a plain, simple glass of water. So Nanny had it, Summer had it, Grain had it because she said she worked for a company named that. And so referencing the only beverage available to Adam in the Garden of Eden. Yep. I had never heard any of these words or phrases before, so it was educational for me as well. Hounds? Hounds on an island. Hounds on an island. And again, this is diner lingo. Hounds on an island. She says, I was going to say tell a lie, but I didn't want to offend the religious people here. Legally Blonde says feet in the sand. Nanny says hot dogs over eggs. So Cash, these are just old school diner lingo, and it doesn't give me a region. So hounds on an island. All right, so a couple more seconds. Cash says, no hounds on an island. The Brits or the Aussies, both dogs. All right, so here we go. So, oh, Marie, I just saw she said hot dogs. So a plate of Franks and beans. Hot dogs floating in a sea of baked beans. So Grain had mentioned baked beans earlier. So I would think it would be not just, like hot dog and beans separate. It would be like when you have like the pieces of hot dog in the beans. Yeah, beanie weenies. So hounds on an island. Well, I guess that makes sense. I mean, they're in a quote sea of baked beans, so that they're floating. All right, so we have one more word or phrase. On the hoof. On the hoof. So this is the last one. On the hoof. And old school diner lingo. Nanny says rare meat. Okay. Cash, there's a rabbit island in Japan and a deer island. Take a bet quick. Evil Queen says walking. Grain says, did you know they stopped making SpaghettiOs with ranks? Really? I actually I used to eat SpaghettiOs all the time, and then there was an incident in college, and I could not eat SpaghettiOs again. Nope. Nope, couldn't do it. TLC says spur of moment. Cheese says cooked rare. Cash says a quick decision made. What TLC said, spur of moment. All right, so a few more seconds and we will find out what this is. Pickled pig's feet, yuck. Leslie says still alive out back. All right, so on the hoof is an order of meat requested extremely rare. Oh, I have a typo, damn it. An order of meat requested extremely rare or practically undercooked. Man, the whole presentation had no typos. The last slide, I have one typo. I would expect nothing less. I always have at least one typo. Oops. Still mooing. Oh, dang it. I didn't mean to delete that, Summer. I was trying to click out of... I hit the thing by accident and I deleted your comment by accident. Well, it's good that you're rage quitting now because it's done. That was the last word. That was the last word. So that is all I've got for you today. I figured an hour. It was a little more than an hour, but thanks for being here, especially because it's not drama and I thought it was fun though, and it makes me remember like when we played words on stream and how maybe one day we'll do it again. I don't know about with this computer until I can figure out what its deal is, but that was fun playing those games. Cash said I found it dramatic. Modern term blue. Thanks TLC and Lunatic. I appreciate that. Summer, good brain exercises. I agree. And it was fun to guess. I actually couldn't I only remembered some of the words and the meanings. Most of them I had forgotten. Cheese shit on a shingle. Oh, say that 5 times fast. Whew, my. Thanks, Angie. I appreciate that. So thanks everybody for being here. I do appreciate it. I do want to go live on my main channel at some point before the end of the month because I have free memberships I have to give out and I don't want to just let them go because, YouTube gets enough money, and the fact that they allow us to give 10 free memberships, I want to take advantage of that. So maybe Monday or maybe tomorrow night. Maybe tomorrow night, actually, I'll go live on my main channel because Monday's going to be hectic trying to get ready for work and such. So let's plan that tomorrow on my main channel. And there's a couple stories that I've been following that I want to just kind of bring attention to. So Cash says, technically I won that game. Okay, if you say so. Chi says, should do it again with terms from the Urban Dictionary. I'm good with it. That actually would be fun too, kind of more modern, I guess. I mean, I'm learning different words from my students. The one word I hear all the time is bussin', and it was a banger. It was a banger. They say that a lot. All right, Jill. Well, I am going to end with what Cheese would refer to as a floof song. I think that's what he said, a floof song. I had some other songs, but it didn't really go. It was like they were either too angry or just not, I don't know, they just didn't vibe with what we're doing here. So most of you are going to know this song, but it is obviously a different version because I can't play the actual one or I'll probably get a copyright strike. But it brings back a lot of memories, especially with things that have happened on these YouTube streets the past several years. So again, thank you so much, everyone, for being here. I do appreciate it. If you haven't hit that like, please do so on your way out. If you watch the replay, #replay, leave a comment below. And until next time, y'all, I will see you on the flip side. Give me 1 second. I need to get my stuff together. All right. Have a great night, y'all. And I don't think it's working, so give me 1 second. What the heck? What the heck? I'm sharing the right thing. Oh my gosh, hold on a second. Good grief. You know, it worked perfect when I did it yesterday with Sinner, and now that I'm by myself, I can't get it to work. Ah, there we go. Okay, here we go. As I said, have a great night, y'all. I will see you on the flip side. Is it still not working? What is happening? Y'all hear a song? Is it still not working? Oop, now you can hear me on my phone because I'm like trying to figure out if it's working. All right, well, you probably can hear me. Why can't you hear? All right, let's try this again. You took your time with the call. I took no time with the fall. I threw a wish in the well. Don't ask me, I'll never tell. All right, I finally got it. So for the last time, y'all, see you on the flip side. I threw a wish in the well. Don't ask me, I'll never tell. I looked to you as it fell, but now you're in my way. I trade my soul for a wish, pennies and dimes for a kiss. I wasn't looking for this, but now you're in my way. Your stare was holding, ripped jeans, skin was showing. Hot night, wind was blowing. Where you think you're going, baby? Hey, I just met you, and this is crazy, but here's my number, so call me maybe. It's hard to look right
at you, baby. But here's my number, so call me, maybe. You took your time with the call, I took no time with the fall. You gave me nothing at all, but still you're in my way. I beg and borrow. And one last thing, sorry to interrupt again. I just saw Sinner will be going live at 9 p.m. Eastern time. If I could redirect you, I would, but unfortunately, I don't have enough, subs. But maybe I'll see you there. And steal at first sight, and it's real. I didn't know I would feel it, but it's in my way. Your stare was holding, ripped jeans, skin was showing. Hot night, wind was blowing. Where you think you're going, baby? Hey, I just met you, and this is crazy, but here's my number, so call me, maybe. It's hard to look right at you, baby, but here's my number, so call me, maybe. Hey, I just met you, and this is crazy, but here's my number, so call me, maybe. And all the other girls may try to chase me, but here's my number, so call me, maybe. Before you came into my life, I missed you so bad. I missed you so bad. I missed you so, so bad. Before you came into my life, I missed you so bad. And you should know that I missed you so, so bad. Ooh. It's hard to look right at you, baby, but here's my number, so call me, maybe. Hey, I just met you, and this is crazy, but here's my number, so call me, maybe. It's hard to look right at you, baby, but here's my number, so call me, maybe. Before you came into my life, I missed you so bad. I missed you so bad. I missed you so, so bad. Before you came into my life, I missed you so bad. And you should know that, so call me, baby.